Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the latest rumors out there show that Jon Favreau might be exiting Star Wars here very shortly. Entirely says he's basically completely and totally out at this point. And considering the fact that Jon Favreau is probably the only creative talent left inside of Disney Star Wars, this would be a very sad thing to see. The guy has done a lot of incredible work. The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are probably basically only responsible. Their only way they were any good in any shape or form was because of Jon Favreau. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that absolutely love Dave Filoni, and a lot of you are Filoni simps out there, and I understand you love his work and all that kind of stuff. I've just never been overly impressed by anything he's done. I was never overly impressed by the Clone Wars series at all. I just found it very boring. It wasn't something that ever really entrapped me, but there's been a lot of great things that I've seen from Jon Favreau that absolutely enrapture me, and the fact that this guy is finally out, I mean, good for him for finally getting out, finally having to stop dealing with all that kind of nonsense, but if this rumor ends up being true, this could be, you might never ever see anything could come out of Disney Star Wars ever again if this guy ends up leaving and there is no new creative talent that actually has any kind of writing chops or any kind of actual creative talent inside of their body getting injected inside of there. And as of right now, that certainly doesn't look like it's going to be the case anytime soon. There's a reason why the Star Wars is dead hashtag and just comment and just saying out there is going viral for a long time, because a lot of that stuff, I mean, all you have to do is look at the rating numbers, right? All you have to do is look at the numbers and look at the viewership. It's just absolutely in the toilet. Things are not going very well over at Disney Star Wars, and they have spent billions of dollars trying to make this franchise work, and they have just failed time and time again. And it looks like Jon Favreau is now finally calling it quits, if rumor mill be true, and I, for one, would not blame him at all. So we're going to check out this article from Cosmic Book News and give you all of the juicy details. Make sure you hit that like, share, comment, and subscribe button, or follow, depending on the platform you are on, because all of that really helps out. Jon Favreau out at Star Wars, claims rumor. What does it mean for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that was recently announced by Disney? Oh, that it's probably going to be absolute hot garbage. That's what it means. A massive rumor to hit the net claims that Jon Favreau is out at Star Wars. If true, the news would rock the entertainment world, and particularly Disney, as Favreau was recently named the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. However, the rumor claims that the film might not actually happen. Now, this is something that we've all kind of expected. This is actually, the whole it not happening is actually a rumor that's been out there for a little while. This is the first time we've ever heard that Jon Favreau is actually completely and totally out at Disney. Now, let's say that part of the rumor isn't actually true. Could Jon Favreau already have his portion of the work done for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Yes, there's a very good possibility, because of what we've heard from very trusty and reliable sources like WDW Pro and others is that essentially they were going to take Mandalorian, season 4, season 5, and the last couple of seasons of it, they were just going to combine it into one big movie. And if that's what they're going to do, they're going to take all of those television scripts and just try to rewrite it into one big movie. Well, then Jon Favreau's work already might be done, and we know that he was just a contract employee out there. He was contracted with Disney Lucasfilm. He was never an actual employee on the company payroll. He was strictly a contractor. So it doesn't take much for him to just go, bye, I'm out, gone, not doing anymore, I finished my contract work, finished my deals, I am out, I'm doing something else. Because honestly, the guy does incredible work on his own when he's able to just write and produce all kinds of things. And it doesn't have to be some big blockbuster movie. Chef by Jon Favreau is an absolutely incredible movie. It stars him. He's got a lot of other great actors and actresses in it. I mean, our dear sweet Black Widow herself, Scarlett Johansson, shows up at it, looking absolutely gorgeous and stunning. And it's a really fun, family, heartwarming movie. And it's just something you absolutely love. Jon Favreau works best when he is completely and totally in control. And we know, working inside the Walt Disney Company, from what we've heard for so many directors and so many producers that have now come out after leaving the Walt Disney Company talking about it, that is not something you get. Everything comes down to corporate edict. And honestly, it's the kind of guy that Favreau is. I don't blame him whatsoever for getting out of there, because Favreau is one of the other guys that is one of the only reasons that we had such a good phase 1 through 3 of the MCU out there as well. So it's been claimed that Favreau has butted heads with the head of Lucasfilm. Color of shock there, dear sweet Kathleen Kennedy. Put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. We're going to insert that clip right here, which explains why The Mandalorian Season 3 ended up being so bad. And now it's claimed that Favreau is not getting along with Dave Filoni. Color us shocked there, because you know Davey's got to do it his way. By the way, the Ahsoka show should have been Luke's story, and really, really was boring and way too drawn out. Who recently was named as Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm, which essentially didn't mean much at all, because he claims he doesn't actually have any power or authority, so basically it's just an advisor role. I have no idea. The rumor says Favreau doesn't like the direction Filoni is taking Star Wars. Well, I think there's plenty of us that are right on there in agreement with Favreau now, aren't we? and that the Mandalorian and Grogu announcement from January may have been fake to encourage investors to back Bob Iger in the recent proxy battle over the board seats. Now, would that surprise anybody? No. Shady corporate tactics like this happen all of the time, and it would not be the first time that Disney Star Wars has announced a project only to quietly cancel it and never mention it ever again. And would that surprise you with this? No, not at all, but it would definitely put some egg on their face, and I am definitely one for hear all that well. So, of course, this comes from our dear sweet Overlord Dvd, aka Doomcock himself, who has had some pretty good reliable sources in the past, and even WDW Pro came out and admitted that at one point he was one of Doomcock's sources, so that's kind of cool. So, as always, it is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. The rumor comes from YouTuber Doomcock, who says to take the rumor with a big grain of salt. See, there you go. But according to what the Hollywood spies have said, Jon Favreau has quit Star Wars. So get ready, the rumor mill is firing on all cylinders. And the newest rumor is Jon Favreau is out at Star Wars. We told you this was very likely months ago. And if true, we are not surprised. So what are we hearing? According to multiple sources, Jon is not happy with the direction Dave is wanting to take Star Wars. And he is going to let his contract expire and not seek renewal. Well, we have reached out to 2 sources and we shall keep you updated. Worth the mention is that YouTubers' rumors about Indiana Jones 5 were right on the money. Yes, they were. YouTuber DVD Overlord, aka Doomcock, was spot on with all of the Indiana Jones leaks. So this would not be the first time. That's the reason why we listen to Doomcock. That's why we pay attention to what he says, because he does have a pretty good track record in the past. Not as good as some other people out there, but needless to say, he gets it right more often than he gets it wrong. So that's why it's always worth listening to. So what about The Mandalorian and Grogu? Regarding The Mandalorian and Grogu, Doomcock's insiders offer either Disney will be using Favreau's ideas for the script, like I said, he's already completed his contract, or that the movie will never really happen. As we understand right now, Disney will be using his baseline script, but there is a wrinkle, and to be clear, we are trying to get details on this. The Mando movie wasn't really a thing. We are still digging this rabbit hole out, but at this point, as we know, Disney threw out a bunch of bullshit projects to get the votes to go Bob's way in a proxy battle. Basically, Disney threw up a smokescreen to fool investors that Disney Bob was in control and had everything running smoothly. We are still waiting on any confirmation of Jon's move. So as noted, there have been numerous Star Wars projects under Kathleen Kennedy that have been announced but never happened. So The Mandalorian and Grogu could be another project to fall by the wayside. Exactly. We've talked about that. We've seen that happen a lot. So also, he claims that Disney has started a rumor about Jon Favreau quitting Star Wars to create buzz about the franchise, as nobody cares about the Acolyte. So we've been talking to sources, and there's some interesting stuff being discussed. There's a good number of people claiming that Disney is beyond desperate to get any kind of traction with the Acolyte. It's not trending. No one is talking about it outside of bots and shills, and a number of sources claim that Disney let this leak that Jon may leave in hopes that people will be interested and start talking about Star Wars again. This also leads us to think that no one is even bothering to search for anything Star Wars related. Disney has truly killed this franchise, if this is the fact. And I, as a guy that does, does content and live streaming full time over on Rumble, we live stream Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. over exclusively on Rumble every single day. But it's one of those situations where you've seen that happen. You see that in the algorithm. The Star Wars, I'm going to do this Star Wars video. I'm going to cut this video, and it's not going to get much traction. You know what I mean? It's just really not. That's just the way the algorithm is. Star Wars is, for more or less, for all accounts and purposes, a dead franchise. Go to any Ollie's around the country right now. Look at how many Star Wars toys from the modern era are sitting up there. Look at how many of the Marvel toys are. Just look at how much of the Disney products are sitting on the shelves at massive discounts because it simply didn't sell. And that used to be the backbone of Star Wars, was their toy sales. That's what sent them over the moon. That's what made George Lucas such a filthy rich man, because of the toy sales. And now they can't practically give the things in a way. So you know what? I hope Jon Favreau is getting out. I hope he's going to let his contract expire and not renew it, because the Star Wars under the Disney control, Disney Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm is a sinking ship. If not, you could already say it is one that is completely and totally under the water at this point, and there's just a last few bubbles of air slowly leaking out of the ship and coming to the surface. And Jon Favreau is clearly deciding, hopefully, if this rumor ends up being true, he's grabbing one of those air bubbles and he's getting out while the getting is good, because at this point, that is nothing more than a dead franchise that is underwater, and no one inside of Disney Star Wars can save it. And especially if Favreau's gone, there ain't no creative talent left inside of that studio whatsoever.